Hi, we've got a '84 Ford pickup truck here with a 6.9 diesel engine in it, international diesel engine. It has a fuel problem that we're trying to resolve. A couple of things that we've checked for so far is it has dual fuel tanks, and neither one of those fuel tanks have been plugged. We're getting fuel to the system. We'll go over all that and see if we can drill down to the bottom of what we have to do to get this thing running smooth again and to keep it from blowing a bunch of white smoke out the back. It has two tanks. At first I thought maybe it wasn't getting fuel, so I pulled the fuel lines off down here below where the fuel selector switch is. Got fuel fine there. Next I moved up here to check to see if I was getting fuel through the fuel pump. And the fuel pump was, I just removed right here this line. I also checked, of course, see if there was water in the filter. There was some, but not a lot. Not enough to account for it. But the fuel pump, which is down there below, was working okay, and it was delivering fuel. I also emptied the water separator, which is right here. I had a hard time finding it. But right down here is the little ring that you pull up on, and then the water drains out from down here below. And it did say, the light did say there was water in the fuel. But what it's doing now, I think I've pretty well diagnosed this down to the injector pump. And I think the next step is to tear this down and to see if there's a check valve. I think there's a check valve right down here that might need to be looked at to see if it's plugged. But anyway, I'm going to start it up so that we can just see what it's doing here. And I always hate it when it comes down to the injector pump, because that's usually expensive and difficult. Glow plug light. You can see it starts off pretty good, and then it starts to really bog down really bad and smoke like a son of a gun. Now if I was to shut that off and restart it, it would run normally for a few seconds, as if you know, it is a fuel related problem, of course. So we'll just do that. You can see it comes out of it for a second, and then it starts to bog down again. So that's where I'm at this point. I'm going to just check and see if there's any water coming through the exhaust. Wow. Okay. No, it's really dry. So there isn't any water coming through. That's probably a good thing that it's not a head gasket anyway. Okay. We'll tear that down and then we'll talk some more. The check valve threads out of this part of the injection pump, and the return line goes on from there. And I'll show that to you. We're on the workbench cleaning it right now. Alright, here's the check valve here. It threads into the elbow, and the return line screws onto here, and then this screws into the injection pump. Now if you could see through this, which you probably can't in this video, but in the very bottom of that there's a valve. Looks like a little piece of glass or something of that nature, but surrounding that is quite a bit of dirt. This particular rag is what I've been using to clean it out, and right here, for example, is where some of the dirt was. And I've been filling this with carbon choke cleaner and some lacquer thinner, that kind of thing, and then using the pick to clean it out along with some compressed air. And I have it working much better now. The valve actually goes this direction, which is the fuel flow direction. Excuse me, this direction. And you can put the probe in there, and there's a spring. You can feel it when you push it in and out, how it affects it. So we're going to fill that up again and do some more cleaning, and then I'll put it out on this clean towel. All right, you can kind of see that there's been quite a bit of dirt come out of it. What I do is put the carb cleaner inside of this check valve, and I shake it and I pick at it, and then I dump it out. You can see there I got quite a bit of dirt and other things that are out of there. Every time I do this, I seem to get more and more out of it. So there's a good possibility that the problem that I'm having is in fact a plugged valve, and maybe the best thing to do is to change or replace the check valve. But I'll just continue this process until I'm not getting any more dirt out of it. Okay, I've probably rinsed and cleaned that out maybe 10 or 15, maybe 20 times now. And you can see from this paper towel, which was cleaned just a minute ago, how much came out after I had already used this paper towel. And one of the earliest spots right there, I got quite a bit of debris. Now I'm coming up with very little. I'm going to rinse it out 2 or 3 more times, and then I'm going to reassemble it and put it back into the truck. See if that helps. Okay, we're going to thread in the valve, the check valve, back into the injection pump. It has an O-ring on the bottom, so I didn't need to put Teflon tape on these threads. And once that's in tight, give it a couple of turns. Give it one more try. Okay, it's running good. Let's see if we got smoke now. No, we're not smoking either. That could have solved our problem. I guess I'll take it out and give it a test drive. All right, I just returned from doing a test drive, and the check valve, it ran much better. I'm going to see now if the check valve picked up any more debris or dirt, which of course if it did means that there's something happening in the injection pump, which is the most likely culprit here, because as things start to deteriorate in the injection pump, it will allow debris into this check valve, which is not a good thing. So it'll probably end up being an injection pump rebuild. But time to just check that and see what we've got. Here's the check valve, and we'll tear that apart. Well, as you can see, there I rinsed this out about 6 times, each time just coming out with a tremendous amount of debris. I'm going to start it up without having the check valve in it if I can, or at least turn it over, see if I can pump out anything out of the injection pump, but it definitely looks like the injection pump has got major issues. Okay, I just finished working on the fuel system on this Ford truck. It's got to be an injector pump, I've concluded, having disassembled the check valve a couple of times, and it just keeps filling up with debris. So something inside that pump is coming apart. It has a new fuel filter on the other side of it, so whatever is coming into that check valve is coming after the filter. And that's not good news, but it will make for a good second video as we tear down the injection pump and learn what problems we run into with the changeover of an injection pump. Thanks for joining me.